Well, first of all, Prof, thank you very much for coming through. It's not illegal for political parties to obtain this information and use it.
Sir, it depends. Okay, first of all, I should state, of course, POPIA, the Protection of Personal Information Act, is not yet in operation. So this guidance note was issued in the spirit of proactive compliance. So at the moment, it is not unlawful. In terms of Section 26 of POPIA, which I brought you a copy.
Thank you.
The political persuasion of voters is special personal information. It may only be processed by political parties, and for our purposes now, for campaigning. And that is the political persuasion. It is, however, there's a difference between the processing of the political persuasion, me finding out which party are you going to vote for and making a note, and you receiving SMSs or email messages from a specific political party. The latter is the issue that we have a concern with.
What is your concern specifically? I know that as far as I know or I've heard, there have been a lot of complaints from people who were receiving messages from the Democratic Alliance. Is that what you're concerned with? Or do you know of other parties that are doing?
We are only aware of complaints against the messages sent out by the Democratic Alliance, sorry.
And you're concerned about that?
Yes, because in terms of POPIA, you have to, when you process personal information of a voter, the political persuasion is one thing, but then your email address and your phone number is also your personal information. Those types of information may not be processed, first of all, without your consent. So political parties must take overall accountability for how they deal with this information. So they must obtain the voter's consent to use that telephone number. Secondly, they must obtain the information, and this is where the big problem comes in, from the voter directly, and not, for example, from data brokers or from, through automatic calling machines.
Do you know what has happened in the DA case? Do we know where they obtained the information, number one?
No, sir, no. We have issued the guidance notes in January. The DA specifically responded and raised several issues, and we've dealt with that. We've answered them authoritatively, I think. We've met with the ANC. That's the one party that came to see the Information Regulator to see clarity. And according to that party, personal information such as telephone numbers are collected directly from voters as they determine the political persuasion, but then they ask specific consent. I must say, in terms of Section 11.2 of POPIA, if there is a complaint, a political party will have to prove that it obtained consent.
In the case of the DA, has there been such a determination? In other words, have you been able to determine whether the DA got consent to use the information? Because I can't imagine that happening and then the same people turning around to say, we don't like what the DA is doing.
The DA has not yet had a chance to respond to these allegations.
29 days to elections.
Yes, but as I've noted before, we are working towards proactive compliance, so it's not as though any party is at the moment contravening the law. However, we feel that...
So you're saying the DA has not contravened the law?
No.
I thought you hadn't made that determination yet.
Even
because you're not sure if they got consent?
Yes, yes. You are correct.
Yes.
But even if it turns out that, for example, my telephone number was obtained from my cellular provider, and I did not give consent, and I also, there's no way for me to opt out of these services. Because the Act is not yet fully in operation, the obligations of responsible parties are not yet in effect. And even when the Act comes into operation, there'll be a 1-year grace period. But we are working towards proactive compliance because we feel respect for the personal information of voters is an integral part of human dignity. It's a human rights issue.
So, in a nutshell, the DA hasn't broken any law.
Correct. Or any other party. Let's just not focus on one political party or any other party.
But it's the only one you are aware of, by own admission.
It is one party that we received a complaint against. It may not be the only party.
Okay. That's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
For coming through. Information Regulator member, Professor Tanya Pistorius.